The era of European colonialism witnessed the expansion and influence of European powers across the globe as they established colonies and exerted control over vast territories. However, amid this age of imperial domination, a handful of countries managed to escape European colonization. These nations preserved their independence and cultural heritage, paving the way for unique histories and a remarkable sense of identity. In this video, we will explore some of the countries that successfully resisted European colonization and the factors that contributed to their autonomy. Let's take a look at the countries that were never colonized by Europe. But before we get started, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. Iran. The British Empire didn't colonize Iran, but controlled its resources. After a war in 1857, Iran's Shah gave concessions to Britain, allowing them to grow and sell Persian tobacco. People protested and canceled the concession, leading to the Persian Constitutional Revolution in 1906. It created an Iranian parliament and limited the Shah's power, who supported British interests. Also, the British Empire owned most of Iran's oil through the Anglo-Persian Oil Company. In the 1950s, Iran's prime minister nationalized the company, injuring the UK and USA. They helped the Shah organize a coup. Iran stayed under Western influence until the 1979 Islamic Revolution. Bhutan. Bhutan is a small country with a population of about 780,000 people, located to the east of the Himalayan mountains, which made it hard to invade. But the British attacked Bhutan from 1772 to 1774 and won in North Bengal, gaining control of some unimportant areas. Despite the defeat, Bhutan managed to negotiate with the British. The Druk Desi, a regent of Bhutan, signed a peace treaty with the British East India Company in 1774. Bhutan agreed to pay 5 horses and allow timber harvesting for the British to withdraw their troops. Border conflicts continued until 1947, when India became independent and the British left the area. China. China and the British Empire had a big conflict called the Opium Wars. Britain needed China's tea and sold opium to balance the trade. Many Chinese people were addicted to opium. China banned opium because it caused problems politically, economically, and socially. This hurt the British merchants. So Britain invaded China in 2 wars, called the Opium Wars. China lost and had to sign treaties that gave trade benefits and land to Western countries like the UK, France, and the US. The UK got Hong Kong because of its victory over China. The treaties were humiliating for China. Afghanistan. Afghanistan was never directly ruled as a colony by Western powers, but it faced invasions from the UK, the USA, and Russia. The British Empire fought 3 wars in Afghanistan to counter Russian influence. The first war ended badly for the British, while the second war resulted in Afghanistan's defeat and the installation of a leader friendly to Britain, but not as a formal colony. In the third war, Afghanistan attacked Britain and regained control of its foreign policy. More recently, the Soviet Union invaded Afghanistan in 1979, and the USA occupied it in 2001 until 2021, when they withdrew after negotiating with the Taliban. Thailand. During the 19th century, Thailand was known as the Kingdom of Siam and was located between British-controlled Burma and French-controlled Indochina. To prevent colonization, King Chulalongkorn of Siam adopted European customs and technology. Through skillful diplomacy, he gained the support of the British-French alliance, safeguarding most of his country from European control. Although they were not formally colonized, the effects of colonialism influenced their history and continue to impact the world today. Japan. Unlike many other countries, Japan resisted European colonization. Instead, they established control over Taiwan, Korea, and southern Sakhalin. Recognizing the Western threat, Japan underwent the Meiji Restoration in 1868, ending the rule of the military government Tokugawa shogunate and restoring direct imperial control. This reform prepared Japan to defeat China in the First Sino-Japanese War, showcasing their emergence as a major world power and exposing China's weakness. Japan later won the Russo-Japanese War in 1905 when Russia attempted to invade. During World War II, Japan annexed Korea and Manchuria, becoming a colonial power themselves. Ethiopia. Ethiopia is one of the oldest uncolonized countries in the world. During the European scramble for Africa from 1880 to 1914, most of Africa was colonized, but Ethiopia remained independent. In 1888, Italy invaded Ethiopia, but Ethiopian troops won a decisive victory in the First Italo-Ethiopian War of 1896. However, Italy negotiated with Ethiopia and took control of Eritrea. In 1935, under Mussolini's rule, Italy invaded again and successfully annexed Ethiopia, overthrowing Emperor Haile Selassie. It wasn't until 1941 that Emperor Selassie was restored to power and regained the Ethiopian throne. Nepal. From 1814 to 1816, Nepal fought in the Anglo-Nepalese War, also known as the Gorkha War. The British East India Company had larger forces and managed to control about 30% of Nepal's land. However, the country's mountainous terrain worked in Nepal's favor, making it difficult for the British to advance. Reluctant to face the rugged mountains, the British forces left the remaining territory of Nepal independent, establishing a border area for British India. Additionally, the British Army was impressed by the military skills of the Gurkha troops and recruited them into the colonial army. Korea. Japan colonized Korea in 1910 and ruled for 35 years. Unlike other countries, Korea was not colonized by Europeans. Koreans resisted the colonization, but Japan managed to suppress the resistance. Korea became free from colonization when Japan surrendered in World War II. At that time, the Soviet Union was invading a Japanese colony called Manchuria. The United States dropped atomic bombs on Hiroshima and Nagasaki, which made Japan surrender to the Allied forces unconditionally. After Japan's surrender and the end of World War II, Korea became an independent nation. Saudi Arabia. For a long time, Saudi Arabia was ruled by tribal leaders from different parts of the region. In the 16th century, the Ottoman Empire, which had control over a big part of southeastern Europe, Western Asia, and northern Africa between the 14th and early 20th centuries, gained power over most of Saudi Arabia. They continued to rule until 1918. During this time, the Saudi royal family started fighting to take control of their own country. This happened during World War I, when Britain was fighting against the Ottoman Empire. Britain wanted to weaken the empire, so they supported a rebellion called the Pan-Arab Revolt. When the war ended, the Ottoman Empire lost control over Saudi Arabia. Since then, Saudi Arabia has become a powerful region in the world. So guys, that was it for this video. What did you think about our video? Let us know in the comment section below. If you are new to our channel, be sure to subscribe and ring that notification bell to get notified about our latest videos. Thanks for watching.